Hey guys, welcome back. We have another scammer on the loose, this time going by the name of Valeria. So we're going to go through all the details here. We have a crypto transaction, some sketchy crypto transactions, some stuff that went off platform, started on Cardmarket, went off Cardmarket. Be careful with any of that stuff. I'm going to go through the details here. Hopefully we can track down the perpetrator, the thief, and hopefully this is a learning lesson for everyone involved. If you're selling stuff, if it's in person, even if it's a safe location, be very careful on the transaction end of things. Be very careful on all ends of it. There are some red flags. We're going to take a look through here. I want you guys to let me know what the red flags are, as per usual, down in the comment section. But let's get into it. So here's some of the screenshots. We'll go through the screenshots at the end. We're first going to go through the details. We have the victim who reached out and said, "Hi, Rattle. Yesterday I was scammed of 20,000 euros, European dollarinos, if you will, worth of sealed product near Milan, Italy." What is it with scammers in Italy? Pokemon scammers. There are a lot of Pokemon scammers in Italy. My apologies to the other 6 or 7 Pokemon collectors or transactioners that are not scammers that are located in Italy. Can you tell the rest of the Italians to smarten the fuck up? What the hell? I don't understand it. Not sure. I don't know if it applies elsewhere, but in Pokemon cards, there are a lot of Pokemon scammers there. Do with that what you will. It's a red flag immediately. As soon as I see something going on, a big transaction going on with Italy, take a second look, take a step back. Do you think you could put out some kind of statement for people to look out for a large amount of boxes and cases potentially? I sure can. That's what we're doing here today. If so, I can provide the info you need. I would highly appreciate it. So if anyone has information, if anyone was approached by this or another individual in the old Italy, and it sounds like it might be familiar, if you have additional information, anything that could help lead to the arrest, lead to the tracking down of the scammers, in this case, scammer and or scammers in this case, please do reach out to me. The best way to do so is on Discord general chat at Rattle. Hey Rattle, I have information about the Italian scammer. So here we have it. In the DMs, he says 20,000 euros there, but it seems the negotiations in the chat that were being made, I guess we gotta have this over here a little bit, we're closer to 27,200 euros, which is about 28,342 American dollars. That's a lot of money. That's a big transaction. It was supposed to be in cash. Spoiler alert. The travel costs were supposed to be paid in a Bitcoin. There's a lot of sketchy stuff going on here. We'll try and piece it all together. All right, more information from the victim. They say, "For sure, however, would it be okay if I remained anonymous?" Absolutely, don't mind. It is, I do appreciate everyone that does get scammed and does reach out to me. It might prevent somebody else from getting scammed. It might, I mean, there's a slim chance. But there is a chance that you can get your stuff back. We're going to take a look at the list of everything that was stolen. See if anyone recognizes, anyone sees that kind of stuff pop up. Again, let me know. Join the Discord at Rattle Pokemon in the general, I guess it's just at Rattle in the general chat. I am very ashamed of this happening to me. I don't mind sharing my details or even the police report with you. And they did. But for the public, as you do get a lot of views, I would like to be known for this. I wouldn't like to be known for this. I understand if that's not possible on your side. Either way, I'm sending the requested material. Now, the most important part, I mean, it would be good to also have the victim's information so that people can reach out to them with info. But I think it's just as well if you send it to me, I can forward it along to the victim. All right, here what we got going on. We got more of the story. The 151 bundles were all sealed cases. I just had 20 separate to track the price of both case and individual bundles. The Paldea Evolved cases show 2 on screenshot, but it was only 1. Cardmarket username is SantinoFea86. This is important for anyone that doesn't speak Italian. Santino is a male name. I think probably always a male name. Santino's probably always a male name. And that's going to play into what's going on later on because it's not Santino anymore. Now, to preface this, oftentimes scammers, for whatever reason, they get their accounts banned. They got to use payment info. They got to use phone numbers. They got to use things from their girlfriend, from their family members, whatever it might be. So the reason why we got SantinoFea, and then they're talking as Valeria Faye, is probably one of those. That's my guess. Now, I don't know if either of these are their real names, but it is important information. So introduced as Valeria Faye, this was the name she used in the crypto wallet as well. This is how I found out her last name. Again, banking on that. I don't know if that guarantees that it's the last name, first name, last name, but it's helpful information nonetheless. Hopefully more information will come up. And I'm not exactly done digging on this, but I do want to get the information out in case there are any more leads or any more tips that people can send my way. She wasn't at the meetup. 2 men were there. That is a big... Now, if 2 men show up and you're supposed to meet this woman, like, sure, she probably is going to bring someone with her. You're doing some big dollar transactions here. She's probably not showing up by herself. But for her to not be there at all and 2 men to show up, I mean, it's too late at this point because you're committed. I think it was something like an 8-hour drive each way to get scammed. Pretty wild. Pretty greasy. Supposedly husband and stepson. Sorry, ignore the screenshots. It's chaotic. I am sending a Google Drive folder with everything in correct order. So we're going to take a look at that towards the end of the video here. Starts with the Cardmarket DMs, then the WhatsApp convo. Let me know what your thoughts are on the matter. I just want to get the word out with the hope of some European LGS being approached to buy the collection. I can provide the whole story as it won't be apparent from the chat communication. It is summarized in the police report, but happy to provide the details personally. There was a language barrier at the police station. Oh my goodness. What an absolute disaster. So here we have another detail. The loose boxes were in cheap plastic cases. Now, whether or not they can remove these, so it's not bulletproof by any means. Not gonna be the end all be all. Be able to identify these. Now, the wrap on the boxes, that can be somewhat helpful where it's a common box. Less so if it was something older, and where the Pokeballs are on the wrap itself, where they're stretched, how they're stretched, any damage that's on these. It's always good to catalog your expensive stuff. Now, difficult in this case if you have cases and boxes and all kinds of crap to catalog every single item so that people can identify it or be like certain that, yeah, you know what, that is the right one. That is the one. That is the stuff that was stolen, that kind of thing. Even with individual single cards. If you have single cards, take photos of them. If they're expensive, if you think there's some risk of them being stolen, take photos. If it's got a hollow pattern on it, if it's got damage in certain areas, if you can show all of that, people can be on the lookout and be like, hey, I know that Lugia. I know that first ed Neo Lugia. That's the one with the swirl exactly here. And it's got a little crease there. It's got a little bent corner here. At that point, pretty easy to track down. Also, just like the hollow pattern in general, when you get into the very rare, the very expensive stuff, even if it's cracked out of a case, I mean, even easier when they don't crack the cases on the graded cards, and then you can just see the cert number, is the stolen cert number. But even if they crack it out, certain identifiable, very expensive, very rare cards, pretty easy to match those up with some good pictures. All right, this is the police report in Italian first and followed by an English translation. We have Google Translate was used. The translation is as good as it gets given the conditions. We're going to go through the DMs to get a little better look at the story, regardless then instead of the police report. But here we go. He says, sorry, I was all over the place with these messages. I am still in a mental shock. But at the end, I want to say a few words. I am completely embarrassed by how I handled the whole situation. I was very careless looking back at it and going to regret this my whole life. I want to explain why I asked more than market value. So there's a lot of people in Pokemon that are going to, whether they're temporary or long-term or whatever they plan on being, whatever they end up being, that don't realize the risk involved with having that. Make sure you need security. If it's even beyond that, you need to have it somewhere in it, whether it's a bank vault or anything like that. You see a ton of the high-end collectors that don't even look at their cards because they're so expensive that they have to have them locked up somewhere. When you're getting into tens of thousands of dollars or whatever amount of money is a lot of money for you, you got to be very careful with that stuff. Someone can break in. If transactions, someone could show up and just beat your ass and take all your shit. That's kind of what it comes down to. There are a lot of terrible people in the world. regardless of whether they're pretending they're going to buy Pokemon or not, you got to be very careful with these transactions. There's a ton of stuff here where it's just like, okay, this is where you should have backed out. And yes, in hindsight, easy to spot. Or if you're not the person that is about to make the money, like the too good to be true thing is like, you don't see it. You have the blinders on because you're going to sell a bunch of stuff. You're going to make a bunch of money, whether you're buying or selling. The scammer is going to prey on that. At first, I only wanted to sell her a part of the collection. I was happy to move for current market value in order to fund my Prismatic Evo pre-orders. She, however, insisted on buying the whole collection, to which I explained to her that I expect certain returns for the boxes much higher than the current market value. She agreed to paying my asking price. Looking back at this, obviously this was a major red flag, and some might say I deserve this. So no one deserves to be scammed. But yes, if somebody's looking to buy in bulk at above market price, there's something wrong there. There's something clearly wrong there. And yes, at first glance, if it's just, you think it's somebody that's just trying to get a bunch of inventory, maybe they're a whatnot flippy dippy McChippy, and they're gonna upcharge. They're gonna get a whole lot more money because they're either scamming on whatnot. They're doing some rigged ass gambling or something where they can make a ton of extra money on something, even if they pay above market, and they're just trying to source a bunch of it at once. That's kind of possible. But if it's just somebody that's buying, selling, whatever, they probably don't want to. Why would you pay above market? You just order it online for market. I partially agree, hence why I am so embarrassed about the whole situation. There's no need to be embarrassed. I mean, this is a really rough learning lesson. Like, there's times where people reach out and they're like, oh, damn it, I got scammed on a $200 card. This sucks. That sucks. That is an inexpensive way to learn a lesson. Way to be extra careful during any transaction that's happening. Especially one that's like your entire. This is like all in. This is it. That's all. That's everything that he had. I'm happy to provide the full story and answer all your questions. The police report will help fill in the gaps, as a lot of things were not captured in the WhatsApp. There's a lot of like voice calls and that kind of stuff that are probably not recorded. I don't know if WhatsApp records any of that stuff or saves any of that stuff. It would be nice if they did, but they probably don't. It seems like a good platform to be scamming on, because a lot of scammers do. I would completely understand if you don't want to help, since I insist on remaining anonymous. If this is the case, I appreciate you taking the time to look at this and apologize for wasting your time. This is not a waste of time. This is an important learning lesson. Now, a lot of people, they might not want to listen. They might not want to listen to this. Oh, I would never get scammed, Rattle. Yeah, everyone would never get scammed until they get scammed. So you got to be careful. You got to be on the lookout. It's important to take a look at this kind of stuff, because when you recognize the stuff, you got to take the blinders off. You got to be like, oh, shit, it's too good to be true. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Unless you've been scammed before, unless you're like, you got to take a step back. Pretend it's not your money. Pretend it's not your sale. And be like, hey, does this work? Is this going to happen? So here's the lists of items that have been stolen. And if you guys want to keep an eye out for those, if you're in Italy and or surrounding countries, make sure you're on the lookout for those. We have the Cardmarket account here, SantinoFea86. Member since 2024, 7/12/2024. Not very long. We're gonna have to take a little peeky deeky into seeing if they're scamming anyone else on the platform there. We have 0 purchases, 0 sales. They have 17 singles for sale. Interesting. Very interesting. So this, I mean, if somebody's buying 28,000 USD worth of product from you, and they approach you on Cardmarket, and they have no sales or purchases, that's a big red flag. Now, I don't know whether or not they signed up for the account, if they used their actual information, and whether or not Cardmarket is able to assist in the police investigation. But I'm hoping that they are. Here's the singles that they have available. We got some pretty expensive stuff in there. It's weird that they haven't sold any of this. Tentacool, I mean, it seems like it's kind of overpriced. We got SV2A Tentacool Master Ball for $69.56. That might be a little steep, All right, Linktree. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all using the Linktree, and my apologies for driving this home and putting it in every video. But I would like to thank you for shopping on the places here: Stroll and Tote, Secura's Card Shop, Card Trader, Cardmarket, using the Collector app to track your collection, using all the discount codes here, such as the one for 10% off your first Buy purchase. If you're buying from Japan, you got to be careful there. There are scammers that are on some of the sites that you're allowed to buy on using Buy, but you got to be careful. You got to be diligent, know your risk, all that stuff, or purchase from the sites that are very well known and respected and reputable. Now, this is the best way to support the channel, as you guys know. I would rather you do this. Don't send me money. Go on here, save yourself some money with these discount codes on the things that I recommend. Or even better, if you're shopping for whatever you're going to shop for anyway, click these bad boys before you do. And there is a kickback, affiliate kickback, that is provided to the channel here. It allows me to keep everything operational, especially when we're covering scammers who like to false flag the videos. Most of this we're going to cover. Here is a piece of the police report. There is information there that is not within the DMs, so we're going to cover that real quick. Again, this is a translation, so it might be a little sloppy. Here it is. We have WhatsApp the meeting place to carry out the transaction, specifically outside the GameStop store located inside the Destrero Shopping Center. Il Destrero? When I arrived there together with my girlfriend, I found two male people waiting for me who said they were Valeria's relatives and that they would take care of the payment and collection of the goods. One of the two men, who introduced himself as the husband, immediately asked me to hand over the goods. However, I refused and ordered him to proceed with the payment. It was therefore agreed to proceed with the payment in my car, where I could also show him the goods that I had left stored in the trunk. The man reached to me in the vehicle and, sitting on the passenger side, took out in succession bundles of €200 notes, which he handed to me to count and check. Following the counting of the bundle of notes and a check by means of a tester pen that I carried out, the man exited the car and handed the stamped bundle to the other person, who placed them inside the bag. Now we're gonna take a look at the DMs, and man, did the victim ever even, he knew it was coming. He even inquired, he even mentions, spoiler for later in the video, about the money being legitimate, wanting to check whether the money was legitimate or not, and wanting to bring it to a bank. Intuition was there. The senses, the spidey senses were there. All right, what do we have in this one? We have, once the payment was made, I delivered the batch of cards that were loaded into the vehicle used by the two men, of which, however, I do not remember any element apart from the dark color. Immediately after the people left the area, suddenly I checked the bag and found that the banknotes inside were all fake, with the exception of two that were authentic. Oh no. So, I mean, there are many things that can go wrong here. They can give you fake money. They could trade you fake things. They could trade you resealed things and you don't realize right away. Or they could just straight up mug you. The mugging part probably would have been a little bit more efficient for them in this case. If you're going to scam somebody with fake dollars, there's probably other crimes that are committed when you're faking money rather than just straight up stealing from someone. You're still stealing from them, but you're also printing and or using counterfeit dollars. As far as I could see, I contacted the buyer at the address in my possession, and the woman, after having answered me the first time, encouraged me to get rid of the banknotes and offering to remedy what had happened became unavailable. I specified that I suffered damage of the equivalent of approximately 18,000 euros of market value not covered by insurance. So, not good. Absolutely not good. We got some fake money. You got to be careful. Be super careful. If it's a cash deal, if it's a crypto deal, if it's anything that there isn't a way to charge back, that there isn't a way that there's buyer protection of some kind, you need to be extra careful. You need to be over careful. Over careful, guys. Okay, boys and girls, are you ready for some DMs? And again, this is where I want you guys to play the Where's Waldo. I want you guys to look for the warning signs, the warning signals that are going on here. As we look through, as we read through, we have the message again. Now, You have idiots like David Person who are going to tell you, oh, just go on eBay and send somebody a DM and say, hey, can I buy it off eBay? I'm sure eBay won't mind. They don't want the fees. That's a good way to get your eBay banned. It's a good way on any platform. It is sketchy. Now, there are people that just want to avoid paying the fees. They wouldn't want to buy the items. They're going to pay more than market price, but they don't want to buy those on Cardmarket. Why would you buy them on Cardmarket when you can pick them up in person or have them dropped off? You can scam somebody, have them drive 8 hours each way or more, I think, because it was snowing and raining. What the hell? All right, here it is. So we have the SantinoFea86 account saying, hi, can you send me, please, more pics for Lost Origin 6 booster box case? Like you don't know what a fucking booster box case looks like? Like, what the hell? Hi, yes, of course. Let me know if you need more photos. Thanks. You can send me your number. I'm gonna call ASAP. So, again, maybe English not their first language. Maybe they're also just a dumb scammer. You tell me. Now, we have a phone number there that I'm gonna have to blur. And we have the conversation brought off platform. All right, red flag number 1. Anyone that's asking you to come off of a platform might be a sketch dogger. It might be a little sketchy. Now, that is very sketchy. And then when you get into meeting in person, people think that like you meet in person and it's like the safest way to do it. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Now, middleman exists for a reason. Meeting at a safe location exists for a reason. Police station, preferably. Making sure you have ID and everything else from the individual that you are purchasing from or selling to. All of that stuff, very important. They're going to avoid it. We saw recently where somebody was robbed at gunpoint outside of a card shop that they were supposed to be selling at. Someone can just tell you, hey, show up with all this valuable stuff. I'll pay you when you're there. It'll be cash. You love cash, right? Everybody loves cash. Well, not great. Not always great. Little difficult to tell if the person showing up is honest, is going to actually purchase the stuff from you. And again, that's where it's just like you're selling something, you're getting the money you want for it, you put the blinders on, you think it's a common thing, but when it gets into the tens of thousands of dollars, you got to be very careful, especially depending on the area that you're in. I mean, just in general, regardless of how safe the area is, regardless of how honest you think this person is, how much they've proven, how even if they pay your expenses to get there, that could just be a bait. This one was just a bait. All right, they say, hi, here is Valeria. How are you? Hi, I'm good, thanks. We got a voice call. They love the voice calls, the voice spam, the voice calls. Hi, I'm in a meeting. Call me when you can. I will call you in 20 minutes. Voice call. We got booster boxes and cases. We got Chilling Rain, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Silver Tempest, Scarlet and Violet, etc., etc., etc. A lot of modern stuff. Again, this is, I'm assuming the victim in this case is fairly new to Pokemon, at least, Sword and Shield era, which I would still consider very new. I know there's a lot of people that are even newer than that haven't seen this stuff. This video is even more important for them to watch. I get it. It's not snazzy. We're not shooting fireworks and opening booster boxes and doing razzle-dazzle giveaways and jumping off of the roof and parachuting down while opening a booster pack. We got to cover the slimy and the grimy. For Sword and Shield, that's all I have. For Scarlet and Violet, I can order more cases for most sets. I gonna check and I let you know. 151, how many cases? Temporal Forces, how many cases? Lost Origin, how many cases? Surgeon Sparks, how many cases? Silver Tempest cases. Then we got the missed call, call me when you can. Oh, sorry. Call me when you can. Hi, I still wait for price and quantity. With an I on the end. That's very Italian of you. Hi, I can send I can send it, but I've decided that it's too risky to bring to you without any insurance. You have to either give me some money for travel beforehand, or you have to come to me to pick up the product. If you're still interested, I'll send you the price and quantity. So this should have been shipped. And again, like if you're dropping it off, if it's a game store, if they have a physical location, or if they have something, if you're just meeting them out in the boonies, out in the wherever they feel like meeting you, that is not going to end well. It's probably not going to end well. They're either going to rob you, or they're not going to show up. You think they're going to show up because if they send you some crypto to drive over there, no problem. I send you money for travel. Thanks. Okay, thanks for understanding. I'll send you the info in a few minutes. Smiley face. We got the boxes. There's some negotiation going on here. We have a brother. We have a friend, I think, that has some other product. So I don't know if they got scammed as well. It sounds like they did. We got total price. They're just kind of happy to pay whatever. They're saying that they have $100,000 that they're going to pay. They say they're going to send some pictures of the money, but it seems like the pictures of the money isn't the entire, or the video of the money isn't the entirety of the money. They say here, you want also a pic from money, question mark? Yeah, probably. But again, safe location. The location agreed upon, not a safe location. Here's the shelf. This is the Stonk Dog kit. And it's not like this is not like an insult to the victim here, but this is standard issue. Whatever the most recent stuff is on a shelf, on display. Collection, sealed collection. Waiting it, stonking it, and donking it. Ready to sell. Gone. Absolutely gone. So here we go. We're working through details. We're going through the details. I'm going to show all of this just in case anyone wants to stop and read it. I am not going to French cowboy the entire thing, as much as 3 or 4 of you would enjoy that. Ah, can you tell me when you want to come? Need to check the date. Also, it's kind of funny that they're always a witch time. Like it's a witch, like it's Halloween. So they agree on the 5th of January. It is, I guess it's more like a 9-hour drive. And it seems like it is a little bit on the, longer than that. If it's snowing, if it's raining, if the weather is not great. It's a long drive to get scammed. Here they talk about crypto and about you want the Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin transaction gets real sketchy, as we'll see here. Here's some Merry Christmas. You gotta, if you're a scammer, you gotta wish people Merry Christmas before you scam them, right? So they negotiate the price some more. They go through. Here's some other items. Here's some more items. Here's some more stuff. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to pay extra? We have a negotiation. I don't know if we passed it or if it's coming up here, but essentially the prices of stuff went up during the negotiation before the transaction was supposed to happen. So the seller wants more money for it. Again, he was already kind of getting a lot for it. It's just a sloppy, it's a messy, it's not a very professional back and forth. And that's kind of where the issue lies. Send you today. We got a video with the screenshot going on. He says, okay, thanks, but that's only 8k euro, right? And he says, no. So we don't have the video. But again, they're just like, there's not enough money there. You don't have enough money to show your, and probably it wouldn't surprise me if that 8k came from somebody else that they stole from. Who knows? Or if they had product that they stole from someone else, sold it, and had that much cash on them because they sold it to somebody else. Not all transactions are necessarily scam transactions. If you stole a bunch of stuff from someone, you can legitimately sell it to other people. I don't know if the items that were listed on Cardmarket, maybe those are stolen cards as well. It wouldn't surprise me. Where if somebody's going to thieve, they're going to probably thieve in other places. We got Happy New Year. You gotta be the nicest scammer in town. So there's where the price is, I guess. Market price went insanely up over the holiday. I have offers on all these way higher than what we originally agreed on. And then that's the thing too. Was it set? I don't usually hold stuff for people unless they're like on their way to get it, unless they're buying it that day or something like that. Then I'm gonna hold it for someone. But if it's like, oh yeah, in a month I want to buy everything here. If the price change, what if they just ditch out? If the price goes down, they're gonna want a discount. So that's kind of important to have up front. and kind of transparent beforehand. If you're bracing all the prices on market changes, is it going to be the new price or is it going to be the old price? So they're going to some kind of like commercial space here that they're meeting in around some shops. Not safe, not a bank, not a police station. And here we have the victim who asks, and this is the scammer that's choosing the address, which is also, that's not good. That's not great. The scammy, the victim, says, okay, is there a bank nearby? I will need to check if the cash is legit. That's another thing. You got to make sure that they're not shorting you on the cash, or they're not providing you with fake cash. That's a little bit of a concern. If they're trading you something, whether or not the item is legit, are you going to find out later? Do you have some sort of way of identifying and making sure that this person didn't scam you? That's kind of what we're dealing with here. A random WhatsApp or a random Cardmarket account with no purchases or no sales on it. Is that going to help? Is that going to track the person down? Maybe. Is it bulletproof? Absolutely not. It's not even anywhere. I mean, nothing's bulletproof, but you got to get it as close as possible. If the person that scams you doesn't have any money, if they spend all the money, if they stole a bunch of money, if they stole a bunch of items from you and spend the money, or the money is nowhere to be found, they just might be just a no-life criminal that there's no way you're getting that money back. We've seen that before on the channel too. All right, so they meet. They're going to be meeting in Milan on the 05. It's a shopping center. You can buy something with the money in some shop if you don't have a machine. Sure you can. Okay, sounds good. Don't worry, money is real. Which time you are tomorrow there? Okay, no problem. So I'm going to leave at 6 in the morning. Drive should take 11 to 12 hours, so around 1800. I would keep you updated on my location whenever I make a stop. So here we go. We got some pictures. We got him showing pictures. We got Crown Zenith there. And again, this is all stuff that's like pretty widely available, so it's not like someone wants to overpay on it. We got some back and forth, but the Bitcoin, the money for the transportation, the 700 European dollarinos. There's a little bit of a struggle with that. They have to send it in multiple payments from multiple accounts, which is weird. Somebody that's buying 28,000 USD worth of product from you, probably, what? You can't send 700 euro. I don't know what that is in American dollars, but it's somewhat close. The conversion rate is pretty close. So pretty wild that's going on. They're talking about the total. They're talking about what's being sent. Do you have the other cryptos? I got to convert it to this crypto. The transactions, it says that it's received, but it's not adding to the account because it needs to be verified, and it doesn't get verified. Absolute pain in the butt. It seems like they do work it out eventually. And again, like, just because they send you money, just because somebody doesn't steal from you the first time, that kind of stuff, they could be setting you up for an even bigger. So if they do small transactions with you, and you're like, oh, this is a reliable person, this is a real person, they said, why would they trust me with 700 European dollarinos if they weren't real? They said Happy New Year. They said Merry Christmas to me. Man, no scammer would do that. So they need the first name on the account in order to try and get it to clear. It does not clear. Spoiler. Back and forth. Big waste of time here in terms of trying to get this. He's talking to the people on the app to see what needs to be done, needs to be reverted, needs to be sent. Absolute disaster. We got funds rejected, return pending, that sort of thing. You would think that Valeria or the operators of the account on the other end would know what they're doing at this point, but maybe that's by design. They're just like, oh, it's just pending. Don't worry, you'll get it. So they could have also, if it wasn't for the backlash of the person who was scammed here, they could have scammed for the 700 European dollarinos as well. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. It's bad that you're stealing $28,000 from someone, but to take the travel expenses as well, I mean, you don't have any morals at that point, so I guess you're probably trying to steal that at the same time. But be careful. Anonymous people off platform, anonymous non-refundable payment methods, or showing up and just in hopes that they're going to give you a wad of cash. That kind of thing. Voice call, no answer. So what happens is we get the old product stolen. We get the payment is not made. We get the two guys show up that are not Valeria. And they're gonorrhea with the goods. Now we got the voice calls here. We got the voice calls when they're meeting up. And then we got the voice calls after the product is stolen. And we have Valeria, please. I have a pregnant wife. Valeria, please. Pick up. Valeria, please. Voice call. Please, Valeria. This is going to ruin my life. It's all my money. I have a pregnant wife. Valeria, please. And again, I don't know if there's a... Valeria probably has nothing to do with it. It's probably the husband and or stepson or whoever, if that's who they actually are. The two guys that were stealing from you and setting you up the whole time. Although if you had voice calls, I guess she must have been in on it too. The two guys there. If they're just there to steal, they're the stealers. She doesn't need to be there for that. Absolutely disgusting that this person would steal that much money from someone. And again, it's everything he has. It's his entire collection. So he worked hard, doing whatever he does on the side. Put that money aside, thinking that this was going to be a nice little nest egg. Maybe sells it someday. It's worth money. And it's all gone, all at once. Pretty gross. I'll see if we can dig in, get some additional info. Again, if you have any info, please reach out. Let me know. All leads are very much appreciated. Be careful out there. Whether you're buying, selling, whatever it might be, there are ways to avoid scams like this. There are tons of scammers. They're out there. If people have the ability, if they can steal from you, they'll find a way. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for looking out for each other. Join the Discord. Be careful. Scammer's gonna scam.